I'm doing this video this morning. Uh, well, first of all, it could be nothing, or it could be something. But we time to time buy Walmart burritos. They're really close for the price to Tina's. Um, I mean, personally, I think Tina's makes the best burritos. That's my personal opinion. I've been eating Tina's burritos ever since junior high. They make great burritos. Um, but back to the when Walmart's, they're like I said, considering the price. I mean, they're the only ones I've tried that are not Tina's. I've had others, which I can't think offhand, but I've had a couple of other kinds of burritos. I mean, they're good, but I just think Tina's has got the right flavoring for the beef and bean, the red the the red one, beef and bean. I think they've got the right mixture. Um, and if you throw some jerky or some franks on it, then it just finishes it out. But about a stone in our burrito. Um, the I mean that's it, one stone out of the entire container. But I just find that crazy. It could be nothing. Again, if somebody was going to target people who like burritos, um, I mean, you'd think more than one stone, but then again, um, you can't judge intention. It could be somebody threw a handful of stones into the mix, but because of portion sizes and weights, all of this is done by weight, all of it. They probably grab a spoon along an assembly line, and people throw a bunch of food on a tortilla, or a bunch of, a spoonful of refried beans with the pepper mixture and the tomato sauce mixture on the on the tortilla, and then it goes down the line, and the next person rolls it and folds it. Then it goes down the line. Another person puts it in the pan to be quick baked. Um, and that's it. It goes into the oven for can't be longer than 1 or 2 or maybe 3 minutes, and that's it. And then it gets packaged after it cools. Um, anyway, I just find it odd that there is a stone in there. Is this some kind of targeting burrito eaters, people shopping to eat them, or perceived, ethnic connections to burritos? Those people threw a stone. I'm just curious, because for the life of me, I can't understand. It's not like the tobacco industry where they're allowed so much fillers, and they come from a variety of sources. I've met people in my travels that actually worked at tobacco and cigarette plants, and they would say, yeah, for the fillers, um, you'd be surprised what gets thrown in there. They're like, they're allowed great latitude when it comes to filler, as long as it's not toxic. You'd be surprised. Hay, hay. Sometimes stuff that's fallen off the line onto the floor. It gets shoveled into a container, then they dump it back in. Um, so, because it's been on the floor, that would mean it would include dust and dirt and stuff like that too. And back when I used to smoke, I had you find those when you're smoking a cigarette and you get like it's almost like a thick piece of plant in there. It looks like a piece of hay, but it's thicker and stronger. It's part of the stalk. It's supposed to be detritus. They throw it away because it's not a part of the leaf. It's the stalk. But fillers are allowed. so it makes its way back in. And then you're smoking a cigarette and you have like a, you know, not quite as thick as a toothpick, but the same, hardness, the same length. Yeah, that's part of the stalk, and it's considered part of the filler. And that part is not really consumable when you're smoking a cigarette that's got that part of the stalk in there. It's a lot more dangerous um, chemical composition than the actual leaf itself. Probably a lot more cellulose. And last time I checked, cellulose is not usually something we breathe in. But anyway, going back to that burrito, how would a stone, it's a small, smooth stone, really small. I can't for the life of me figure out how it would end up in the mixture, of the beans and the beef and the sauce. I just wonder. I mean, it could be nothing. I could be overanalyzing, but with the kind of targeting that different communities have had, I wouldn't be surprised. And I wouldn't blame this on Walmart. Um, these companies, they do a lot of charity work. They help a lot of people. They employ millions of people. This would be, a bad employee, and bad employee can hurt any company until people root them out and fire them. And the more malicious of employees, sometimes it's good to put their picture on a wall and scan in a photo and send it to your sister companies. Yeah, this person knows all about how we do things, but they're a bad person. They did this and this and this to customers, and they did this and this and this to their coworkers. Don't hire them. Sometimes shaming can be effective to teach people a lesson or to protect others. So still, I return to the question of how did a small, smooth pebble find its way into a package of pre-made burritos.